Chat, what we're going to be doing today is for fun. We are going to be doing a no reset run of 100% Luigi's Mansion. It is not going to be close to world record. I'm going to warn you about that. The only one that I could get close to would be any percent. I didn't main 100% when I used to run this game, even though I did ran it. The best I ever had was 5th place in the world, but that would have been in 2013. So, yeah, 100% was top 5 in the world in 2013. So, a little over 10 years ago now.
That's cool. I love this game.
So, yeah, I held a record in this game about 10 years ago now. I think the last time I held a record was 2015, so 8 years ago. So, I should still have it pretty good because, like, I ran it so much. So, I should still have about most of the muscle memory down, but in terms of 100%, it's gonna be probably a solid, like, I was gonna guess this probably will take me about an hour and a half-ish. Probably around an hour and a half for me to 100% this game. Anyways, chat, let's start this in 3, 2, 1, and go.
I'm so glad my favorite Minecraft speedrunner is branching out to some more obscure titles, Drake.
Ooh, nice, got the gold bar. Good RNG. Oh my god, I stood at the wrong spot. I am so bad. I forgot, it's left and then right. Oh my god. Pepega. So, the banana boos or ghosts are one of the only ghosts that you can actually, like, push without taking damage. So you're supposed to stand where they spawn and then push them into them so you can, like, just instantly get them. What's good RNG about the gold bar? I'm curious. So, in this game, to be able to get, here, actually, I can explain it. So, okay, so, if you don't know the premise of Luigi's Mansion, if you never played the game, basically, TLDR, here's the story, here's the lore, and here's the point of the game. Are you all ready? Here we go. One day, Mario and Luigi are sitting down in their little house in Mushroom Kingdom, and they receive a letter in the mail. And the letter states that they have won a mansion in a lottery. They won the lottery and they got a mansion. However, it's sus because Luigi nor Mario entered the lottery. So they won this house in the lottery, but none of them entered the lottery. So Mario decides, well, sounds pretty good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and go check out this mansion we just got. And then after a while, Mario doesn't come back. So Luigi decides to go and check out the mansion. When he comes, a bunch of painting starts to shake and like ghosts starts to spawn, and they say that they're going to take him just like the red one. Red one meaning like Mario, because Mario has like a red outfit and Luigi's a green one. Then last second, right as Luigi is supposed to die, he gets saved by this weird little fella called Egad. And now Egad tells you about how, basically, King Boo is behind all of this, and he ended up releasing a bunch of paintings that he had that are basically like the portrait ghosts, like the ones we're fighting right now, and they got loose and they're roaming around the mansion. So Luigi is supposed to go around, catch all of the ghosts, and save Mario. And that's the idea with the game. Here's the basically normal thing you have to do to beat the game without glitches. You need to get through the 4 areas. So there's 4 areas. Every time you beat one of the main bosses, this is the first main boss, the baby here, you beat the area. So there's 4 areas. There's a bunch of portrait ghosts around the game. So yeah, that's the area boss. Anyways, so you complete 4 area bosses. You have to take down a bunch of portrait ghosts around, like along the way. And there's also a bunch of boosts around the mansion. A total of 50. To beat the game, you need to get at least 40. But it's up to 50 in the game. Now, on top of that as well, there's a bunch of money around the game. And at the end of the game, at the very, very end of the game, depending on how much money you picked up throughout the game itself, you will basically, at the end of the game, destroy the mansion and build a new house. And you use the money you picked up throughout the mansion to rebuild the house. So if you got like almost no money, you get a tent. Otherwise, you get like a terrible like 1-story building, 2-story. But if you get $100 million, you rebuild the mansion. So if you need 100 million to get basically A rank, because then you can rebuild a full-out mansion again. So to get 100%, we need to get $100 million. We need to collect all 50 boosts. We also need to get all of the portrait ghosts, even the optional ones. And that's basically it for 100%. Now, some of the money is consistent and some of it is RNG based.
You got this easy.
So yeah, we're gonna try and get all the money, and we're gonna try and get all the portrait ghosts and all 50 boosts. When was the last time you ran Luigi's Mansion? Many, many years ago. Consistently ran it would be 2015. That was the year I officially quit. Since then, I've only done like a no reset run here and there. The only category I have done since 2015 is any % out of bounds, because I got accepted to a GDQ run one time to do that, so I de-rusted on that. But yeah, I ran it so much in 2013, 2014, I should still remember the route pretty well. I hope.
Even I haven't been here that long.
Nice. So the first boo you pick up has a really long text dialogue because it gives you a tutorial of how catching boos work. But what you can do is you can interrupt the animation of the boo by getting pushed by sucking up that cloth. So you basically prep it by sucking up half of it, and then after sucking up half of it, so you leave it halfway through the table, you find the boo, and then you end up finishing it right after he enters the vacuum, because you have a split second before the text starts. You can also quick teleport back to the main part of the lobby anytime you want in the game by just scanning a mirror, and Luigi starts to spin around. And yeah, true, this is where it all started. This is how I started streaming on Twitch, Luigi's Mansion. It's the only reason I'm here is this game. Okay, let's see if we can do this cutscene skip. Nice, got it. So what I do right there is I suck up the boo, and then during the animation of getting the boo, I pick up the fire medallion, which lets me skip the long cutscene and tutorial of being taught how to use the fire element. And it's faster to do a quick save and quit and teleport back here. How are you sucking up the ghost so fast? I'm good. You just have to memorize when to tap back on the analog stick. Oh, you know what? I'll get you. That's good RNG. You just have to memorize when to tap back on the analog stick and when to use the C stick on them. What? How did that last guy not get... Wait. Bruh. At this point, I'm just freaking just burning them all. I messed up. Oh my god, I can't remember. Is water the first one or the third one? I think water is first, SMB3 is third. Oh, thank god. I can't read because it's Japanese, so I had to go based upon my memory, and it has been a hot minute. But yeah, so anyone is wondering how I'm doing the boost so quickly? So the boosts have a mechanic where basically, the boo doesn't move for the first 10 HP. After 10 HP, it starts to move. And you probably remember, if you've played this game, that when you play this, the boo will just constantly escape you and go into another room, I'm assuming. So, to avoid it so that you can at least always get a little bit of HP in on the boo before it escapes, it gives you 10 HP where it does not move at all. And then after 10 HP, it starts to move around. Now, what we do is we do something called pumping. So, if you hold in the R button and then remove it, he has to do a full-out animation of removing his vacuum before he can take it back out again, meaning it would be too slow to do anything optimal with it. But what you can do is you can hold in both the L and the R button. So the L button blows air, and the R button sucks air in. Now, the sucking takes priority over the blowing. Oh my god, please do not... there's no way to not say this without it sounding bad. But anyways, the sucking of the vacuum takes priority over the blowing of the vacuum. So by holding in both L and R, it will always suck air in. And if you release the R button, then instead of him doing the slow animation of taking the vacuum away, it will just in a one frame swap to blowing air. What that means is you can just like release and immediately press the R button again to kind of just like cancel stop, cancel stop, cancel stop. Does that make sense? Like you can kind of just like super quickly, you let go of R, so he's and then like press it immediately again. That's why it's called pumping. So you basically do it like this. And you do that every 10 HP. And if you do that every 10 HP, then you will basically stun lock him. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say, at least? Even if you're all kind of turning this in a lewd way. Does that make sense? To help the casual, the first 10 HP, the boo can't move. So by interrupting the animation every 10 HP, you get him to get basically stuck. It stun locks him. Now, unfortunately, Nintendo actually did go 5-head mode and did actually think, what if someone is able to do it? So there actually is a failsafe in the game where if you initiate a boo 15 times in one room, he will just ignore you and leave no matter what. Does that make sense? So that means that you have to do perfect pumps to be able to get a 1 cycle on a 150 HP boo. And for a 300 HP boo, it has to be a 2 cycle because he will just leave. Also, this plant is a very special mechanic, and you don't technically have to, but you almost have to do this if you want to 100% of the game viably. So there is a massive diamond you can get. There's 2 of them in the game. One of them is by getting all 50 boos. One of them is by actually watering this plant. So what you need to do is you need to go over there and you need to water that plant in every single area in the game. Meaning that basically it grows and then you have to water it, and it grows and you water it. So you have to water it in area 2, 3, and 4. And if you don't do it in all 4 areas, then they did remake Luigi's Mansion 1. There's a reaction to me screaming in rage because they actually did remake Luigi's Mansion 1, which is the best LM game. They just remade it to the 3DS instead of the Switch. And literally there's an old reaction of me when they announced it. It's really funny. Where I go, no, not on the 3DS. Like, I am pissed when it happened, dude. I was so pissed. No, Luigi's Mansion 2 is basically getting a port from the 3DS upscale to the Switch. Which I'm not complaining about, by the way, when I put it that way. But yeah, it's not like a full out... I disagree with the word that they're remaking it. It literally just looks like... If you were to boot that game up on Citra, which is the 3DS emulator, it looks identical. I can tell you something right now, Chad. I've actually figured something out recently. Nintendo will not give us a Nintendo Switch Online for GameCube games. Hear out my reasoning for why they're not doing it, at least, like, probably, maybe we'll get it in, like, 2 generations from now, but I don't think we're getting it for this generation or the next one. Here's my thought on that. Would it be fair to say that GameCube games, because almost every single GameCube game decided to go for more of a cartoony, more like cell shading graphics rather than realistic graphics. So because of that, GameCube games have not really aged in terms of graphics like most other games from that generation, or like the Nintendo 64. Meaning that GameCube is literally like a goldmine for Nintendo when it comes to remakes. Like, think about it. They have already started to remake so many GameCube games, and it is so easy for them because GameCube graphics were in such a way where they literally just have to upscale and add shaders, and bam, you have an HD looking game. So it's like absolute minimum effort to make an HD remake of a GameCube game. So I think we're not gonna get like Nintendo Switch Online GameCube because it makes no sense for them to basically release it quote unquote for free or at no additional cost on Nintendo Switch Online Plus or whatever they call it, when they can just take all of the fan favorite games upscale them to 1080p, add shaders, and then release that game for $60. Also, some people are going to get mad at me for this, but as someone whose favorite generation is Nintendo GameCube, I actually prefer them doing remakes of GameCube games. I know people are going to get mad at me for that, but I love remakes of GameCube games because I love GameCube games so much. I love this generation of gaming so goddamn much. I am so happy and okay with them remaking GameCube games. Like, if they remake Prime 2 as well, they give us, like, a Sunshine remake, like, anything. Literally anything GameCube. I will take any remake GameCube eyes. Like, I am loving it. I love GameCube generation, and I love any remake to do for it. Alright. Chat, one of my strats are coming up right here. So, when I started playing this game, I was playing this game on the PAL version, so the European version. And when you do this fight on the European version, Luigi jumps on top of his vacuum cleaner, and you basically go around like a go-kart on top of the vacuum cleaner. But what that does result in is making the fight a lot harder, because it basically makes it so that it feels like you're on ice physics. You basically slide around. So I wasn't able to do what the original strat did on the Japanese version that people were speedrunning at the time. So what I did was I would go to the right, I would line up so that he popped on the right unicorn, and then I would line up right in front of it. I would go all the way to the left, and then I would basically just go forward and just like shoot an ice ball to the right and get him that way. And when I started running the Japanese version, I discovered that by implementing that same strat on the Japanese version, they group up perfectly, so you can do a one cycle. There's only two. There is a bunch of small optimizations in the out of bounds category that I discovered, but in terms of no out of bounds, the only two strats that actually, one of them are not even in the run anymore. The only two strats that I developed was the Colossus one cycle, and I was also the person that developed the two cycle strat for King Boo. So if you don't go for the one cycle, which I won't, I can't do it. The two cycle King Boo strat was also developed by me. And the way I found the two cycle on King Boo is actually the same way that I discovered Furnace Fun moves in Banjo-Kazooie, which was I discovered it by being bad. I literally just discovered it by being bad. You know the Boo strat that I'm doing right now, you know, on every single Boo, where I hold in L and R and I R pump to be able to stun lock them? Well, when that glitch was first discovered, I sucked. Like, I deadass just sucked. I was awful at it. So, because of how bad I was, when I got to King Boo, what the other top runners would do is the top runners would just basically, they would just do the R pump to guarantee a 3 cycle, which was the fastest way that we knew how to defeat him. But because of how bad I was, what I decided to do was, okay, to make up for how bad I am, I'm going to start the fight by doing the original strat of not R pumping, and then once I know that he's about to leave, then I start the R pumping strat, so I don't risk anything. And somehow that was the key to the puzzle, and I just randomly, for the first time ever in an actual run, got a 2 cycle King Boo. That's where like the 13, 14-year-old Linkus voice goes, where I go, oh my god, I did it! I 2 cycled King Boo! Also, I want to warn everyone, a very spooky section is coming up right here. So, whatever you do, chat, do not panic. Uh-oh. The lights are out. Deadass, as a kid, when I didn't know how to fix the power, this was scary as shit. Because during this part, every single room is dark. And there's like 1,000 enemies that spawn in like every single room. Also, I don't want to jinx myself, but I've had really good RNG so far with the boo text. So there's a lot of RNG in this game with the boos, but there's a second part of the RNG to the boost that I haven't mentioned yet. So anytime you suck up a boo, you get like the text, right, of like, you know, hey, you got a boo, very good job. There's a small % chance that EGAD will tell you about Van Gore, which is like the painting guy we see later in the run. And there is no cap to how many times he can mention this ghost. So you can literally get unlucky, theoretically speaking, and get like 10 of them in a row. And they lose like 5-6 seconds each time he mentions it. So you can just randomly just get a really long ass text box when you suck up a boo of telling you about him. I don't think I've had a single one of them so far in this run. I'm sure I'm gonna jinx myself because I only have 10 boos left. But yeah, sometimes you can get so unlucky and have it like 3 in a row or something stupid like that. But so far, we're doing pretty good on that. Yeah, this game, unless you go for any %, the game basically only has a few glitches when it comes to text skip. So there's nothing like super crazy you have to learn. So it's a pretty beginner-friendly game. Please don't double cackle. I need to get at least 150 HP from you. Oh, God. Not great. Lots of double cackles. Just go up. Okay. As long as he's up there, I'm fine with it, because then I can just get him as I'm about to leave this floor. Let's see if I can one-cycle this 150 boo. Perfect. No, I got the long text! Dude, literally the first boo I got after mentioning it. I said, oh, yeah, you can get the long Van Gore text, but it shouldn't be a problem because I've already gotten 40 and I haven't gotten it once. I only have 10 boos left, so I don't feel like I'm jinxing myself. Straight up next one we get. And yeah, it might not look like a lot, but when you're getting that text, like, if you get that text box multiple times, it's slow. I don't know how much money I actually have until I beat the game. So there's been times where someone completed a full 100% run, and then after the run was finished, they found out they didn't have enough money and the run doesn't count. So you have to go through the cutscene after beating the final boss until you get told how much money you have. But because I'm not going for a world record, I am just picking up extra money. So I should not be short. I would be shocked if I'm short, because I am picking up extra gems as I go by. But yeah, I one time saw a world record. It didn't count because he had 99,999,999. Like, dead ass, one coin would have put him over. Like, you can be on 99999. It is quite sad. This game just has so much charm. And I love how Luigi whistles when he's nervous, the actual tune of the mansion. Holy shit, I one-cycled him! Okay, he's the only 300 HP boo that you can actually one-cycle because he's the slowest boo in the game. So what you have to do is you have to basically, when he chooses a room to go to, like down or right, you have to like follow him without losing connection to him once, and then right as he's about to leave, you do the strat and then do it until it re-rolls that he wants to go to the other room, and you have to follow him back and forth. It's really hard to do. This is a good run for being just like no practice, just full out. Let's do it. Nice, got it. Oh my god, I got the long text again. This is actually a really good run. No reset, this run is incredible. Like, dead ass. Alright, chat, last room. So this is the lore, by the way, of how all the ghosts have been spawning around the mansion, if anyone is wondering. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Take this sub.
Damn, almost got it. You can, if you're just barely rightly positioned, be able to pick. I got the Van Gore text on the boo after you kill Van Gore. Bro. You can just barely push yourself into the gem so you can save warp and you save some time and movement here. Chat, do you want to know something insane? You know how this is a no reset run with no practice and I'm just doing the same strats I used to use back in like 8 years ago when I ran Hundo? This run was almost a PB. I'm not even kidding. My old PB is a 117.45. I played so well on this no reset. I almost got a PB. There is technically about like 20-second time save from a new glitch, but like other than like that 20-30 second, like, bruh. No, I picked up extra money. There's no way I can be short. But now I'm paranoid. I'm just gonna get this extra thing here. You know, for how old my time is, it's still holding pretty strong. I'm still 41st place in the leaderboard. Which, 44th place on the leaderboard, pretty impressive for how old my run is. Let's see, when was my last Hunter run? Yeah, I did a no reset run in early 2016 because of the stupid disk USB thingy. Forgot about that. All right, let's see if we can get the 2-cycle. Not bad. This should, if I don't fail the 2-cycle, be a sub 120, and a sub 120 puts us with a no reset run at, yeah, this could be top 50 in the world. If I get a good fight here, this will be top 50. Pretty good. Okay, 145, doable. Okay, it's barely under 250, which is what I need. That's doable. Now we just need to do the exact same thing again. Oh no, it's Ogre. Oh, damn. Okay, still 120 though. And time. 119.39. Not too bad. 119.39. That puts us at 54th place on the leaderboard. Worse than my PB, but like not bad for no reset. And sub 120. I thought it was going to take me about an hour and a half to do this run. Now we just have to find out if we got 100 million. But I picked up so much extra money, I'm guessing I do. There is a major difference in one of the main reasons why 100% is so much faster now compared to when I ran it. And it's not just that people are faster and more optimized. So there's a newer glitch. It's not new, but it's new because like I stopped running them so many years ago. So a few years ago, what people found out is that, you know how when you suck up the portrait ghosts, they drop pearls? So the big pearl that they drop is worth a lot of money. Now, you can actually duplicate the pearls because basically what you can do is by doing a trick by walking into a pearl at the same time as you start sucking with your vacuum, you can have it so that the pearl gets sucked up by the vacuum on the same frame that you walked into it. Does that make sense? Because you can get a pearl by either having it sucked into the vacuum or by walking into it. So by perfectly timing using an element and sucking with the vacuum, you can have it so the hitbox hits both at the same frame, which makes it count as 2 pearls instead of 1. So that makes it so that the money route is way less strict, because if you get really good at that glitch, you can start duping a bunch of pearls, so you can basically get double the amount. You can make it so that you can pick up way less stuff around the mansion, because you're just gonna assume you're gonna dupe. That being said, let's see how much money we got. I think I should get a lot, because I went very thorough, because I wanted to make sure we didn't miss 100%. My guess will be 1.3 million. Oh my god, I barely got it. Holy shit. Oh my god, I thought I was so in the clear. Oh my god, I literally was at 100 mil. Jesus, I might look like, oh, come on, you had 690,000. Nice, by the way. Above, but that's not a lot. Like 690,000 is not a lot because that's just like one of the gems that I pick up, one of the red ones is like, oh, you remember that extra blue gem I picked up right before entering the final boss fight when I said, I don't need this, but I'm going to pick it up just in case? That one is 500,000. So without picking that one up, I would have been 190,000 above. And it's not a lot. Like, each gold bar is 100,000, so, like, most things are worth so much money that, like, 600k is not a lot. Holy. Now let's rescue Mario.
Cat jammer, cat jammer, cat jammer.
Mamma mia.
Feel strong, man. And now, time for one of the best credit songs of all time. I had a lot of fun with this run, honestly. This was a fun run. Maybe I should do a few more LM runs to actually see if we can get a PB during this, like, this month of October for fun. I think, like, without too much practice, because I don't want to go for world record, I feel like I could honestly probably just put a little bit of time into learning some of the new strats, like the dupes and stuff. And we could probably, because, like, I still kind of have it in me, like, in case you're newer to my stream, because I don't blame you. For context, I started speedrunning in 2013, and I ran this game exclusively 2013, 2014. I held a record at 80% no out of bounds, and I had 5th place in the world on... Sorry, I lied. I had a record in any percent, 2nd place in any percent no out of bounds, and 5th place on 100%. I never had 1st place in no out of bounds. So I used to be a top runner. So I can't get world record. There was no way. But I feel like with some practice, I feel like we could probably go from, because currently we're at 41st place, like 41 in the leaderboard. I feel like I could probably shave off 2 minutes without too much work. You can get like a sub 115 or something and get like top 25, top 20. You know what I mean? I feel like we could probably do that and it would be fun and it wouldn't be like a tedious grind. Thanks to getting 100 million, this is what we're building. Giga Chad. Do you guys want to see what you get if you do an any percent out of bounds run so you don't pick up any money? And by the way, if you're doing this game casually, it's kind of funny. This is legitimately a challenge that, like, from back in the day. You actually have to go out of your way to get the lowest rank in a no glitch run. Does that make sense? Because you have to have so little money to get the lowest rank. So little money. That by just literally playing through the game, the pearls that drop from the mandatory portrait ghost will be enough to easily push you above it. So you have to actively go out of your way to avoid any money that's on the ground. But let me show you here. If you avoid all the money, here is the rank you get for the lowest rank. Are you ready? You go from this mansion. Wait, it starts at the highest rank. Okay, A rank. Okay, fine. We'll go. You know what? This is even better. This is A rank. This is what we got. Okay, Nodders. This is B rank. Still pretty respectable. I think we can all agree. This is still a pretty respectable house. All right, this is still a nice house. Now, a normal casual, probably we get about a C rank, I'm guessing. B or C. That's probably what most people got as a casual. So you probably get something like this. A nice house. You know what I mean? You get a nice little house on the hill. But now we're getting into the bad players. For D rank, you get this little house. It's a teeny tiny house with like, what, 3 rooms? Looks like a house from the 40s. Not too bad, but like nothing fancy considering the fact that you just had a mansion. It's no mansion. Now, if you get E rank, you end up with this, which looks like a country house out on like freaking the hills of the UK or something, right? But then we get into if you missed all the money. So at F rank, you get the tiniest house imaginable. It literally barely fits 2 people. But there's a rank worse than F. If you are so bad as to miss all the money throughout the mansion, you get less than, I think it's 5 million. It's like less than 5 million. You end up with a 1-bedroom house, rank G. But that's not all, because there's an even worse rank. If you get even less money, if somehow you actually missed everything. Because if you miss everything, you're not even just getting a 1-bedroom house. You get a tent. If you miss all the money in the game, you get a tent. You demolish your mansion and you rebuild it to get a tent. Luigi's camping, baby. True. You know what? You were right, Chad. I need to start looking at it as a glass half full, not a glass half empty. At least the tent has a window. Let's go, boys. You know what? You are so right. I don't know why I was smack talking it. At least the tent has a window. That is sick, man. A window on the tent. We were being too negative. A window on the tent. That is sick.